born September 5th, 1847, in Kearney, Missouri. After his birth, Jesse James' mother remarried 2 times. After her second marriage, Jesse James acquired 2 stepsisters and a stepbrother. According to an article found on PBS.org, Jesse James joined Bloody Bill Anderson's renegade group known as the Guerrillas. This group consisted of 80 members, and they were notorious. They were known for riding around with the scalps and the heads of their enemies. They would terrorize Union civilians and federal soldiers. The first killing spree that's noted that Jesse James was involved in was known as the Carnival of Blood. This is when Bloody Bill Anderson and his 80 guerrillas rode into Centralia, Missouri, and murdered over 100 Union soldiers. They brutally slaughtered them. This was known as one of the worst atrocities noted in Civil War history. In a book called Jesse James, The Last Rebel of the Civil War, by T.J. Stiles, in February of 1866, Jesse James, his brother Frank James, and Cole Younger began planning their first robbery. They executed their first robbery on February 13, 1866. 9 members, including Jesse James, his brother Frank James, and Cole Younger, they went to Clay County Savings Bank in Liberty, Missouri, and robbed it. During the robbery, a 17-year-old was shot and killed during crossfire. After some of the robberies, John Newman Edwards began writing articles and novels on the gang, and this only excited them. They loved the celebrity status it gave them. On April 23rd, 1874, Jesse James married his first cousin, Zelda Amanda Mims. They were married in Kansas City, Missouri, and they honeymooned in Galveston, Texas. On August 31st, 1875, Jesse Edward James was born to the couple. This was Jesse James' first son. On September 7th, 1876, Jesse James and his gang attempted to rob First National Bank in Northfield, Minnesota. During the robbery, the cashier refused to open the safe for Jesse James, so he placed the gun to the cashier's head and killed him. The shot rang through the entire bank in the town, and the citizens of the town came into the bank and began opening fire on the gang. During the robbery, 2 members of the Jesse James gang were murdered, and 3 were injured. Numbers began dwindling, and arrests were made. So the gang was going down person by person. In the early 1800s, Robert Ford and his older brother Charles Ford met Jesse James' gang. Robert Ford had a fascination with Jesse James and read a lot of stories about him. One day, Robert Ford and his brother asked to join the gang, and due to the low numbers, the gang agreed. But during the robberies, they weren't responsible for much, and they gave them small jobs, like holding a horse's reins or being a lookout. On September 7, 1881, Jesse James and his gang robbed a train near Glendale, Missouri. This would be their last robbery. In December of 1881, Jesse James took the alias of Tom Howard and moved himself and his family to St. Joseph, Missouri. On the morning of April 3rd, 1882, Robert Ford and his brother visited Jesse James. They walked into the parlor and began visiting and talking about new ideas for robbing banks. Jesse James turned his back to straighten the picture. While his back was turned, Robert Ford pulled out a gun and shot Jesse James in the back of the head, murdering him instantly. After Robert Ford murdered him, him and his brother took off and left town. Word spread really quickly that Jesse James had been murdered, and citizens were outraged when they heard how Robert Ford had done it. Citizens quickly came up with a new nickname for Robert Ford, calling him the Dirty Little Coward. In 1892, Robert Ford himself was shot and killed while in a saloon in the back of his head. Jesse James wasn't a Robin Hood or a common day ones at. He was nothing but a murderer and a crook. This just proves that justice will always be served in the case of Jesse James and Robert Ford.